Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, so if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Temptation's Ballad. So let's go ahead and pick up right where we left off, you know, past all the lewdness and such. So guys, please sit back for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you, and let's jump right in. Alarm chant, you're up, and let's go. Okay. What's the Prince of the Royal Family doing with something like this? Artemy frowned, confused. I cannot judge as I am unfamiliar with the fashion trends of the masses. Maybe the prince is going through an emo phase. I don't know. Both his parents just died and all. This might be his way of coping. Cole squinted at the crown suspiciously. I guess so. It's still a bad look for a future king to wear a big black evil crown, though. I'm having a hard time taking fashion advice from a guy who's barely wearing any clothes. No offense, boss. Cole clutched his chest and looked deeply hurt. It's comfy. All the guys back in Bonebreaker Mercenary Company dress like this. All of them? Wait, if I'm working for you guys, does that mean I have to dress like this too? If you want to, I'm sure you'd look great in a loincloth. Sid spluttered incoherently for a full minute before sinking under the table to hide his reddening face. Artemy, oblivious to this entire exchange, peered into the bag with a frown. Wait a moment, where are the rubies on the crown? Oh, that's the bad news I was talking about. Clyde said they removed them to sell separately, and they lost the biggest ruby and an anonymous buyer snagged another one. Luckily, Val's still holding on to the last two. What? But that's half the jewels! You mean to tell me 2 of the rubies are long gone? How will I explain this to the Knight Commander? Hey now, pull yourself together. There's no use stressing out about something outside your control. Let's just focus on what we can do for now. In this case, getting our hands on those last 2 gems with Val. Artemy took a deep breath in an attempt to steady herself. Yes, you're right. However, this Val character has been acting rather hostile towards you, Sir Cole. Convincing him to depart with these rubies will not be as simple a task. You're right about that. Val does have a big gambling problem, though, and he's got a pretty big ego in the fighting ring. We might be able to use this to our advantage. Cole tapped his chin thoughtfully. I think I might have a plan. It's kind of half-baked, but it'll have to do. Whatever the case, I trust in your judgment, Sir Cole. Alrighty, you ready for another round of fight, Sid? Sid? Where'd he go? The larger badger had crawled underneath their table with his head resting on his knees, muttering frantically to himself. I'm not gay. I'm into the ladies. What did my mom say if she found out? On second thought, she'd probably be fine with it, but still. He's kind of a cute guy. I'm definitely not into him, but he's just got a round and fluffy face. Why does my face feel so hot? What the world has gotten into me? Cole gently knocked on the top of the table. Yo, you done hyperventilating down there, buddy? I know the view down there is nice, but we've got a job to do. Huh? Sid glanced up from his position underneath their table to see that Cole had spread his legs and was gyrating his hips teasingly in his face. His loincloth left little to the imagination. Sid felt his heart thump rapidly in his chest as his mind wandered into dangerous unknown territory. What? I swear I'm not peering! The badger stood up so quickly that his head bashed into the underside of their table and knocked the entire thing over. Artemy stared at him with confused curiosity while Cole frantically grabbed for his tankard of mead before it spilled everywhere. And Sid felt his blood pressure rising as the people around them stared at him. Sir Sid, you've been acting very strange. Are you feeling well? I'm happy to supply with more healing spells. I'm fine! Just thinking about stuff and things. Cole gulped down his tankard of ale and slammed his drink onto the lopsided table with a satisfied sigh. Come on, that's enough sputtering out of you, big guy. You can go through your identity crisis later. We've got a fight to finish. Val yawned as he scanned over the fighting ring's schedule. Where the hell was Clyde? He was supposed to help organize all the fighters this afternoon. Val could use the help, especially after that last new-minute arrival swept through the competition. The crocodile glanced up wearily at the sound of footsteps approaching his table. Go away. Ah, come on, Val. Can't you hear me out for just one moment? Your very presence is trying my patience. Begone, unless you have official fighting ring business. As a matter of fact, I do. Cole grabbed a shy Sid by the hem of his shirt and dragged him over to the table. My fighting buddy here has been tearing through all your fighters like nothing. Don't you think it's time he got his hands on a real challenge? Val remained silent. You're the fighting ring's strongest contender. Are you ready to face my buddy in the ring? Or are you too scared after seeing him demolish everyone else? Sid flinched as Val glanced up at him unimpressed. The kid's got raw strength, but no technique. He's not worth my time. I only fight the strong. Val turned back to his scheduling sheet. Now leave me be. Neither of you have anything worth betting on anyway. Cole immediately tossed down his entire sack of gold from Sid's winnings. All the gamblers in the crowd suddenly lit up at the sight of the gold coins spilling across Val's table. This was their chance to win back all their losses. Everyone in the room quieted down and watched Val's reaction intently. Looks like the crowd is pretty interested in seeing this happen. Wouldn't want to disappoint your fans, would you? Val glared with disgust. Kalladai Bonebreaker. You did not earn a single copper of these winnings. Typical. Stealing others' hard work and using them to your own benefit without a single risk to yourself. You are everything I despise about the weak and spineless. My answer to your challenge remains the same. Now, leave. Val's words stung harder than he expected. Sid crouched down next to Cole with a look of concern. Hey, boss, you okay? Not really. We don't have anything to bet against Val for the rubies. No risk of my ass. It's not like I have anything on me that's worth... Cole suddenly fell silent. His expression conflicted. Maybe... His hands hovered reluctantly for a moment before he reached to grasp his loot. Val stared as Cole quietly placed his newly gifted loot onto the table. What am I supposed to do with this? It's a very nice loot. Yes, I see you fiddling with one often when your father comes here to fight. This one appears brand new. A gift? You certainly seem reluctant to part with it. Even now, Cole's hands twitched as though resisting the urge to snatch it back. My old one broke. Papa gifted me this new one this morning. A nasty smile spread across the crocodile's face. Very well. I accept your challenge. Huh? The crowd surrounding them murmured doubtfully. Betting over a little loot? That can't be worth it. Val's serious face melted into a dark sneer. The prize is not this little loot. My prize upon victory is seeing Kalladai Bonebreaker's crestfallen face upon losing it. That constant smug grin on your face is sickening. It shall be refreshing to see it dance a new tune. His smile widened upon seeing Cole grimace. And what will you be betting in exchange? It's got to be something you're equally unwilling to let go of, at least. Val hesitated for a moment before reaching into his pocket and tossed out a single large red ruby. It shone brilliantly despite the dim lighting of the fighting ring as it tumbled onto the table. Whoa, that's a pretty big gem you've got there. You sure you're okay with betting that against a little old loot? Unlike you, Kalladai Bonebreaker, I am a man of honesty and honor. It'll be impossible for me to lose against an amateur like your new badger friend. May this gem represent my confidence in your defeat. Val leaned forward, his smile widened to show an abundance of sharp teeth. I look forward to sharing the news of your loss with your father. The large crocodile grabbed Cole's loot off the table and tossed it back to the side. Cats, knock it off. Knock it off, kitties. Biting each other and such. Why don't you hold on to your toy just a little longer before it's lost forever, before you lose it forever? With a laugh, the larger man made his way towards the judges' table to arrange their new fight. Cole grasped his loot tightly. It's just a loot. Why was he getting so worked up over this? All things considered, this exchange was wildly in his favor. Even still, Cole imagined explaining to his father why his new loot went missing and felt a little sick. As the judges began rearranging the schedule to fit in Cole's sudden challenge, Cole sat in the back of the room in sullen silence. Artemy and Sid approached him with mutual looks of concern. Sir Cole, are you quite all right? Oh, I'm fine. It's just a damn loot. It's worth nothing compared to the big old ruby, right? Sure, but you're still allowed to feel bad about it. Sid cracked his knuckles and nodded with determination. I crushed all those other fighters, and I'll crush Val too. You don't have to worry about losing your stuff with me around. The edge of Cole's mouth twitched into a smile. Thanks, man. Say, that last charge of bardic inspiration had worn off already, hasn't it? Here, let me... There you go. Cole leaned up to plant a tender kiss on Sid's cheek. The badger flushed red but did not resist it. Try not to lose, alright? Sid nodded fiercely. It's your honor on the line. I won't fail you, boss. Artemy walked up to Sid with a smile. I am certain there are rules against this, but it can't be wrong to support my comrades, could it? Here. Bless. Artemy clasped her hands together and closed her eyes. Golden light poured from her palms and enveloped Sid. His fur stood on end as Sid suddenly felt himself buzzing with holy energy. His entire body felt strangely jittery as though he had consumed several cups of coffee. Whoa! I even feel stronger than before. Did I get more buff or something? What kind of spell was that? It's just a simple bless spell. It acts similarly to Sir Cole's bardic inspiration, except it only lasts about a minute or so. It is much more potent, however. Do your best, Sir Sid. We shall exchange high fives once you achieve victory. Just watch! That Val guy is going to be eating his words since I wiped the floor with him. Thanks for all the help, guys. I won't let you down. With renewed vigor, Sid charged towards the fighting ring in a determined scramble. Artemy couldn't help but chuckle at the sight. She turned towards Cole to see him clutching his loot tightly with an air of sullen defeat. Anxious thoughts seemed to cloud the hyena's mind. Artemy frowned, worried. She hesitantly placed a comforting hand on Cole's shoulder and offered an encouraging smile. That loot. While it appears to be a simple instrument, I see that it holds great value to you. It was very brave and honorable of you to put things you treasure on the line. I pray our efforts will do your risk justice. Cole laughed quietly. Nobody's accused me of being honorable before, Artemy chuckled. Indeed. I hear you have quite the reputation, Sir Cole. However, throughout our short time together, you have done everything to try and aid me in my plight and comfort me in distress. Your effort and kindness do not go unrecognized. Worry not, Sir Cole. We'll make sure to achieve victory for you. Now let's go cheer on Sir Sid. Artemy gave Cole another firm pat on the back before making her way towards the fighting ring. The next match was about to start. That gnawing guilt in Cole's chest resurfaced as he felt the warmth of Artemy's hand leave his shoulder. Val was right. What is someone like you doing with scum like me? You don't have to be scum. The air was thick with tension as the crowd gathered around the fighting ring for what was perhaps the most polarizing fight of the day. Sid Shrikewood, the startlingly strong rookie, against Val, the ring's persisting champion. Artemy and Cole watched from the sidelines as the two readied themselves in preparation for the battle. Sid was shifting weight from one leg to another, bouncing on his feet restlessly while waiting for the judge's signal. Val simply stood unmoving like a statue, his glare focused and undisturbed. The crowd was practically vibrating in anticipation. My, how's this going to turn out? Cole gripped the ropes surrounding the ring anxiously. He didn't like these odds. Luckily, he took some precautions and set up a backup plan in case they lost, but... Cole jumped out of his thoughts at the sensation of a comforting hand settling on his shoulder. Artemy gave him a reassuring smile. Worry not, Sir Cole. I have faith in Sir Sid's chances for a successful victory. Huh? Oh, that sounded bad. Artemy suddenly jerked her head back, her eyes narrowed suspiciously. She sniffed the air as though tracking a faint scent. Did you just feel that? Feel what? That scent. It was very bad. Sounds pretty normal. This place isn't exactly the peak of good hygiene. No, I mean it was utterly foul. Like the faintest hint of some sort of horrid magic. Artemy glanced about the crowd and sniffed again. Almost necrotic in nature. Cole frowned. Necrotic magic? I doubt anyone here is educated enough for complicated spells like that. The shrill shriek of the judge's whistle reverberated through the room, cutting off their thoughts. Sid and Val approached each other and exchanged solemn glares. The fight begins. Sid immediately charged at Val with a blistering tackle. It was dodged by an idle sidestep. With a sweep of his foot, the crocodile sent Sid tumbling into a brick wall from his own momentum. Clutching his head in pain, Sid rolled over and merrily dodged a foot stomping down on him. Sid scrambled onto his feet and tried to catch his breath. The magic from both Cole and Artemy coursed through his veins. His senses felt sharp and focused, but his pounding heart made concentration rather difficult. His opponent regarded him coolly. Val slowly approached him without a care in the world. You've got spirit, kid, and decent strength to boot, but not all fights are won from strength alone. You're talking an awful lot for someone who's pretending not to care. Sid charged again and swung his fists, and then a kick. Growling with frustration, he tried punching yet again. Each and every one of his strikes were evaded with either a small sidestep or a lean backwards. For such a large and bulky man, he certainly was dexterous. Val hardly moved from his position as he weaved between Sid's strikes with ease. Suddenly, he stepped forward and landed a solid kick straight into Sid's abdomen. Sid felt all the air leave his lungs. He dropped to the ground at Val's feet, coughing and hacking as he struggled to regain his breath. A foot suddenly slammed downwards into the small of his back, crushing him into the stone floor. Sid struggled in vain to get up, but remained pinned by Val's foot and body weight. The crocodile shook his head with disappointment. "You've got potential. Shame you'd wasted by working with Colodite." Sid snarled and swung his arm backwards, elbowing Val in the back of the knee. The crocodile's foot buckled as he lost his balance and fell forward. Sid swiftly arched backwards. The back of his skull connected with Val's jaw with a sickening crack. Val howled in pain and clutched his bleeding mouth as Sid staggered onto his feet, his ears ringing from the collision. Adrenaline pumped through his veins as Sid returned to a fighting position with a rabid grin. "Don't underestimate me, old man. Fighting is the one thing I excel in." From the crowd, Cole watched the fight breathlessly, his brow knotted with anxiety and worry. "Hey, Nighty, you've been in a lot of sparring matches, right? How does this one look to you?" "Huh? Artemy?" He turned around to spot Artemy fully distracted as she scanned through the crowd with a nervous frown. "That necrotic presence from earlier. Why can't I feel it anymore? I didn't see anyone leave from the crowd. Something is afoot, I'm absolutely sure of it." "You're still worried about that?" "The presence of dark magic is not something to be simply ignored, Sir Cole." Artemy squinted, completely ignoring the clash between Sid and Val while observing the crowd around them suspiciously. She was missing something. Out of the corner of her eye, Artemy spotted someone approaching the bidding table. Someone wearing a cloak? Artemy blinked and rubbed her eyes. She was having trouble looking directly at them. Her vision became unfocused whenever she attempted to stare at the stranger. Perhaps this was a spell? Artemy had read about the existence of magic that lowered people's awareness of the caster, even amongst a crowd. Everyone else here was entranced by the boisterous fight within the ring, paying no attention to his cloaked figure as they approached the bidding table. Not even the judge noticed his figure's presence despite standing almost right beside them. Artemy's eyes watered as she rubbed them again. She tried her best to focus on this figure out of the corner of her field of vision. The figure glanced around as though surveying the area. Most suspicious. They covertly reached a hand out from under their cloak, their gaze trained on the glistening ruby on the table. Artemy immediately slammed her fist against her table and stood up. "Halt! Thief!" The entire room fell silent. The figure froze, their hands still outstretched. As the crowd slowly realized what was happening, the judge and a dozen other fighters approached the figure furiously. "Hold it right there! We don't take kindly to thieves here." The cloaked figure swore loudly and glared at Artemy from under their hood. "This could have passed quietly without a scene. You have forced my hand." A flash of red light suddenly erupted from the figure's hand, filling the room with a sinister crimson glow. The crowd's shrieks and hollers echoed against the stone walls as people scrambled back in surprise. Then, the room was silent. Artemy grimaced as the light slowly disappeared and she unshielded her eyes. "What was that? Is everyone alright?" There was a groan as Artemy turned around. "Oh, no." "Oh, my head. Why is the room spinning so much?" "Sir Cole, are you alright?" "Ooh, hey, Nighty." Oh, he's... Oh, he got charmed. Alright then. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or if you can, it always helps. Let's see how Cole likes being on the other end of this. Anyway guys, I love you all. See you in the next video. Bye-bye!